Merry meet and blessed be. Welcome to the Sabbath school class. Depending on how you count, this is the second of 5 or the first of 4. Last week I introduced what I was going to be talking about here. And for the next few, of course, next week we might have a ritual, but you're going to have a lot to come here for, including the ritual, where I'm going to be doing like some people accuse me of talking in riddles. Well, somebody's going to accuse me of talking in riddles there, I can promise you that. But right now, let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Like I said, first of 4 or the second of 5, depending on how you count. And the 4 are to dare, to know, to will, to keep silent. And guess what's number 1? The very first. To dare. Some people wonder why. Then once you've been around the pike a couple of times, it seems pretty obvious why. To dare. Yeah. Go back in memory. Probably if you had a spiritual life as a young child, it was reciting prayers that you were taught. And I don't know if that would really be called a spiritual life, but that's what passed for it in those days. Of the now I lay me down to sleep variety, usually. But once your spiritual life has gone past that level, most of us would like to find a spirituality that actually works. In fact, for most of us to have a spiritual life, we need one that works. And a lot of people who don't have a spiritual life, I wonder how many of them the actual situation is they tried and it didn't work. This is where to dare comes in. We need a spiritual life that works. And that means having a deity or deities, depending on how you want to look at it, which do more than keep score on you and don't pick up their voicemail. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people who will try to offer you advice about what to do or what to not do. But by now, you should be well aware of the boundaries that you don't dare cross. You know the ones, such as don't harm somebody else except perhaps in self-defense, and then well justified, and lest in self-defense it be, or the black magic style of manipulation. The one that's infamous with me is the people who want me to return to a previous path, and they pray for me on that. No, that kind of manipulation is right there with a love spell. And I'm not talking about asking to be loved. I'm talking about, I want so-and-so to love me. No. You know those boundaries. And if you know those boundaries, you have some idea of how to sort out good advice from attempts to manipulate you. Now bear in mind also, as many traditions and as many paths as there are, and there are new paths being created every day, no kidding, just because it disagrees with one path doesn't mean it's wrong. The question is, does it work for you? Just because you don't do it in your group doesn't mean you can't do it yourself. So, beyond such considerations, what's holding you back? What are you waiting for? Now, yes, there will always be people who will still want to tell you that something is wrong or it won't work. I remember when I was a Christian, one dear sweet Christian lady who told me not to follow not to follow the advice of Venerable Solanus Casey, a Capuchin monk who I still revere. It turned out his advice was downright powerful, and I use it to this day. Give thanks ahead of time. Not only that, I discovered that I had a family connection with that man. He and my great-grandfather had a very special mutual friend. Now, what was going on here? Was it that it didn't fit her preconceived notions? She had a lot of them. Or was it that she didn't want me to have something? To dare. I've been known to say, and I remember sharing this with Jerome Birnbaum, the one who ordained me. He seemed to like it. That where the spirit is concerned, where spirituality is concerned, where the spiritual is concerned, nobody forges a new path and gets away with it. Yeah. If you try something, somebody's going to disagree. And the only absolute that I can offer you is that you're unlikely to gain anything if you don't try. And maybe that's why, since at least it's associated with the Druids, to dare, to know, to will, to keep silent. It's associated with some of the more ancient craft traditions. To dare, to know, to will, to keep silent. All four are necessary. But I think we can see the reason why. The first one is, the very first of four, is to dare. I mightn't. Blessed be. Uriel's Gifts and the Secrets in Plain Sight are sponsored by the Temple of Gaia. At Temple of Gaia, we don't train you to our path. We show you how to find and pursue your own path. Above all, we tried to provide a great place to come together and to share. We're located in Collingdale, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia, and wherever cyberspace can be reached. To learn more, visit our website at templeofgaiainc.org or our meeting place in cyberspace at templeofgaia.ning.com. Thank you for coming. Feel free to return at any time. We intend to always have something for you here. Blessed be. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.